What was that?
I'm MDW on behalf of Getdatables podcast. We're live every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Tuesday for Raw and SmackDown reviews. Fridays for Impact Watch Parties, which is tonight and tomorrow for the Rumors and Innuendo show. Here I am sitting down, talking with Downtown Petey Brown.
How's it going?
Going well. When I was watching your footage last night, one thing I noticed about you was you had a lot of charisma. I like that.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
So tell the people about yourself, where you started wrestling at, all that, who inspired you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started about 4 or 5 years ago. I trained here in Minnesota in the Minneapolis area, where I'm originally from as well. So I got trained, started in 2016. First match I actually wrestled in was in Canada. So I didn't actually debut in Minnesota. I debuted in Canada for a company called CWE. That was a lot of fun in Winnipeg. Then I've just been wrestling ever since. I've been always a wrestling fan. I started a little late as a wrestling fan. I was a fan in seventh and eighth grade rather than, most people start when they're in, first, second, third, or, it's lifelong from there. Um, yeah, and I just got hooked on wrestling video games. One of my buddies had one, and thought it was so cool. You could create your character and be able to make your own moves and outfits or whatever. So that kind of got me hooked, and I started watching the product, and I was hooked ever since. So this has been kind of a not lifelong, but pretty much lifelong ever since middle school dream. So I've been at it, since 2016, and loved it so far, and plan on doing it much longer and continue to strive to be better.
Yeah, I feel that. Which wrestlers inspired you when you were growing up?
Oh, I would say right when I kicked off, I know this is kind of like a hokey, cheesy answer, but be John Cena because he was doing the Doctor of Thugonomics gimmick, which I was a huge fan of. I was a white kid and in seventh and eighth grade, so all that kind of stuff is pretty cool to you then, and just loved like his rapping and things like that. I also liked Shawn Michaels a lot, Batista, Randy Orton. So those are all the guys that were hot right when I started, and then Chris Jericho, of course. So those are the kind of guys I started, watching, would watch every week, wouldn't miss an episode, and yeah, really lit the fire of my passion of wrestling.
Yeah, yeah. Tell us about how you just came back. I know you just came back from injury. You got injured, what, late 2018, so you're just getting back into it?
I was injured last summer, so June 1st of 2018. Landed on my ankle wrong and shattered my ankle, so had to go through a lot of two surgeries to get it repaired and a lot of physical therapy. I came back February 2019 and I've been feeling good ever since. Lost a lot of weight from the injury. I was like down to my lowest weight, and now I'm up towards my highest weight I've been. So definitely a good comeback.
How's your style changed since you had to come back from injury?
I definitely say I'm more cognizant and just aware of certain moves that I do and just look at more psychology wise. I know there's, almost everybody, or a lot of people in the scene are super athletic, are, either swimmers or divers or, just are naturally super athletic. I'm not. I work my butt off with what, body I was given by God. And I just know that I can do different styles and those guys can do, or just a little different character stuff. So that's what I try to really thrive on rather than, doing like your springboards. I even limited going off the top ropes because I found other ways to get around that or do, other entertaining moves. So definitely just more aware of it. Now I used to wear tennis shoes when I wrestled, like high top Nikes. Now I wear boots with like ankle braces just because I don't want the injury to happen again.
Yeah. I like your game a lot. It's fun. It's really fun for kids, and that fits a lot of the demographic now. You know what I mean? For like the top companies. But can you
For sure. Thank you, man.
you're speaking of the top companies. I know you had a WWE trial like what, a year or two ago.
I wouldn't say tryout, but I've done extra work 4 times now. I've done a couple tryout matches. This last time when WWE was in St. Paul, Minnesota, then Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We sadly didn't have any tryout matches that time, but it was still fun to be backstage. It's always a great learning experience and great catering and fun way to earn an easy paycheck.
I know when you go to like the tryouts, you get to like get in the ring with some of the wrestlers. Tell me like the wrestlers you got to either meet, get in the ring with, and what they like told you to do better, what advice they gave you, basically.
Yeah, so in the tryout, or not tryout, but kind of extra matches, I would even call it, because I'd consider tryout matches more. Hey, you're down in NXT, you invited down to Florida. It used to be different before NXT, but now I'd say what it is. They get a chance to look at you wrestle someone else from your area, or at least around the area, and there's superstars around the ring. You wrestle in front of them. A referee's actually either inside the ring or outside the ring, helping you, giving you tips throughout the match, telling you the time. So it's a really good experience and learning experience. Some of the advice I've received, definitely one of the matches I was thrown into was a tag team match last second because they were short on time. So we were kind of a little more nervous because we're around everybody. Weren't as prepared as we normally would be. So some advice I had from the Usos, just especially with my dancing gimmicks, they do a little bit of dancing too in their gimmick, especially what they used to do. Kind of playing off their dad Rikishi. It just feel more, make it more carefree, I guess. Because definitely I was nervous and was throwing a monkey wrench. So it's a great lesson to learn. But that was something that I took hold, was just even if you are nervous, just don't let it show and just have fun, and you'll eventually get to where you need to be. And that's just the best advice that that I could have got for that situation. So I was appreciative of that.
Do you, if you like, do you still watch the current product of WWE right now?
Yes, I do.
Do you ever try to like change your style that you do, like incorporate moves that they like up there? Because WWE has their own style that they like.
Yeah, I definitely watch what they do and how they put together matches, and their kind of formulas. I don't want to be too formulaic, and I don't think they are right now either. I think they've got a good mix of talent, and especially with the different brands of NXT and NXT UK. I actually try to look at NXT and NXT UK for new moves I want to incorporate, especially NXT UK. 'Cause it's have a lot of it's a brand that's not as watched as Raw or SmackDown, or even probably like Impact or things like that, just because hidden on the network, not hidden on the network, but it's on the network. And a lot of those guys are incredibly talented. Have been working their butts off for years. So they have unique ways of putting on matches and unique ways of getting from one, hold or one move to another. And I definitely watch that to kind of do tape study.
What are some of your like favorite moves to do? Like I know you used to do the get defeat as your finisher, which is an underrated finisher in my opinion. But what's your like current finisher?
Yeah, I still do eat the feet as a finish. I used to use it as a move to get into another move, but now I just really like it. You can put it on anybody. I'm one of the smaller guys, so I can put it on guys who are bigger than me, smaller than me, and it's a really good move to set up to other moves too. Um, so I really like that. I've been doing a couple moves that have dancing involved, just to keep it fresh and really go with my character. And that's again what you said earlier with the kids, and a lot of people who don't come to these indie wrestling shows, that are especially at high school shows, they're not wrestling fans. So something just to make them laugh, make them maybe it's just a different flavor of life, just to see something different. So I'm trying to incorporate dance moves, because I've not, I wouldn't say stole, but I've got my own twist on one of Fandango's moves, or Fandango, whatever he calls himself now. Where he does a sunset flip, dances, and then holds it, and then does a dance, hits him with a move. I kind of have my own version of that, or um, just some other moves too that I've seen. I really like Bailey's when she does the sunset flip into the second buckle. I think it's really cool. Hard to you and your opponent really need to be on the same page with it, but it looks really cool. I definitely saw a couple moves with Bailey with her stunner between the ropes. I think that's another cool, unique move. Um, but yeah, I just have really been trying to incorporate dancing in my moves, just to really push my gimmick and character and be different than other people.
You like ever look at the New Day stuff? Because I feel like the New Day are like they're the perfect example of what any like a wrestler like you wants to like be like you know what I mean.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I all their moves are great. Xavier Woods has some is really underrated. Like, his moves are so athletic, and he's so smooth with a lot of his different rolls into moves, or his high flying moves. And yeah, I definitely watch. And Big E's obviously like the funny one on everybody. but that move where he's able to do a spear through the ropes always looks like he's going to kill himself and his opponent. But yeah, they're all really impressive athletes, and of course Kofi, I'm super happy where he is at the company, and how far he's come and grown, and yeah, and he can take hits and make them look outstanding. So yeah, definitely all those guys are everybody. I think every single person. Some people might hate on certain wrestlers, don't think they should be there, or maybe don't have the indie wrestling background into WWE. But what they do have and why they're there is they have charisma, they're athletic, and I think you learn from everybody. So I try to watch everybody just so I can pick and choose what would be right for me and put my own spin on it. I don't try to full all out copy a move, but if I can be like that sequence and maybe take one thing out and add another thing in, so I try to do to make it my own.
Yeah. Speaking of another wrestler that likes to dance, you want to tell me about your match turning a tag team match with Disco Inferno?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Disco is really easy to work with. Not all legends are, or former WCW, WWF guys. Some guys are a little bit more divish or only want to do a couple of things. But he came in and wanted to straight out work and straight out and have fun. And it was a great show. It was packed up at a casino up in northern Minnesota. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to learn from him and just kind of take some advice from him, since we do have very similar gimmicks. He was more of a heel, and I always debated on going heel, but as of now, I like being a face. But yeah, it was a great experience to learn from him. If any promoters are listening, I think he'd be a great person to add to your show, to bring in. He's a lot of fun, and people do still remember him, even though he is maybe not as well known as some of the other WCW guys. He did have a lot of big moments back in WCW.
Well, I will say his heel right now is it's not something you can put on national TV if you've seen his Impact stuff.
Yeah, that's been cool what he's been doing in Impact too, and still being able to stay there. And yeah, he still is in really good shape, and he can still work.
Yeah. The one question, you might get this, you might not. What did he ask about an invisible man? Did he ever ask to do anything about an invisible man?
He did not for the show that I was at with him.
Okay. All right. Tell us about who you're facing tomorrow at your next AWF show, and are you still involved in the booking of AWF?
Yeah, I'm still involved in the booking of the stories and booking of the talent. I also run the social media there as well, and just help with the overall marketing. Tomorrow, I'm super excited to get to face Storm Grayson. He's out of Chicago, just coming back from an injury as well. He injured his shoulder later last year. Now he's back, and I haven't seen him since he's been back. So I'm super excited to not only see him, but to work him. I think he's a super underrated Chicago guy. Obviously, that area has a lot of talent, but I think he should be on all the big shows. He's got a great look, especially now with his green hair, and he's incredibly talented, works really well and smooth. So I'm super excited to be able to, learn from him. And that's why I wanted to face him. So I feel like he can teach me a lot, and he'll definitely push me to my limits.
All right. Can you give me the download? Do you know what the story of the match is going to be? Do you know how the story of the match might go? And do you know where people can find that match if they want to watch it back later?
Yeah, so I have no idea where the story of that match is going to go. It really depends on that day. What Storm and I are feeling to do, and kind of just playing off the crowd, and just see how we push each other. So that's what I'm excited about. Where certain people want to get in the ring, I know what kind of match it's going to be, or I know how they're going to push me, or what they're going to want to do, or things like that. But with Storm, I've never faced him, and he's in a different area, and I think there's a lot to be said of facing people who are outside of your area, just to learn, what works for them, and see if that can work for you. So, where we can watch that match, we do have a pretty much weekly show called AWF Backstage. The System, one of our current superstars, that wrestlers that we have almost every show, does those. He does a great job. You can search it on YouTube, AWF Backstage, or it's on our Facebook and Instagram as well. I'm sure we'll have somebody filming it. We don't have an official film crew there for that show, but we will have, I'm sure, some of the matches and segments filmed.
Okay. Are you still like involved in the booking of AWF, or is that like someone else's job now?
Yep, I still am involved.
All right. So like, how much of the show is like your decision for tomorrow? How much of the show will be like your decision? You got final say, or is it like you got like it's gonna be you and someone else?
I would say a final say. Almost 100%. The main person who runs it pretty much gets the shows, gets the sponsorships, helps set up the TV. But besides that, I do everything else. I book the talent, I write the storylines, or the matches, or make the matches, and do all the social media and the marketing online. That's all me. So
How do you like book your shows? Do you book it like from bottom up? Like bottom is like a few good matches to get the crowd hot. Middle's the comedy stuff, it's like light stuff that get the kids into it. So it, like you when you like you would have your match, then tops like the main event guys, like who's there to steal the show.
yeah, kind of how I book. I've got my main guys that I really like to book. That would be JDX. I think he's the top prospect, or whatever you want to call it, in Minnesota. He's got it all. He's got great charisma, great athleticism. He's already been down to NXT and had a match against Cassius Ono. Um, I think he's gonna make it, and I want to be able to put. He's our champion too, so of course I'm gonna book him. But the reason why he became champion is because his hard work ethic connects with the crowd. He's overall, I think, just overall the best wrestler or best prospect wrestler in Minnesota. So I book him for every match. I book System. We are rivals, but he does a great job with his backstage show. He's our current general manager too, so of course I have to book him there. But he, again, a great bad guy. Great at what he does. He's still super young. Still can get a lot better, but just from where he was a year ago, it's insane. He's been one of the best, heels in Minnesota right now, I believe. I book so that is from my main guys. Other main guys, Angel Dorado, who is insane. Him and his brother are definitely going. I hope he gets signed somewhere. Angel, his brother Airwolf's already signed at MLW, but Angel is, Airwolf's a little bit more of the full package. Angel's still younger and still has a little bit of growing to do, but the moves he can do are unlike anybody I've seen, not only in the local area, but just in wrestling in general. So to have someone like that part of the local roster, another high flying guy I like to book is Levy Cruz. He actually just came back from England. He toured with Riley Jackson over there. And Levy Cruz is another guy who is an upper cover, younger guy, but again, just getting better every single show and can do a lot of athletic moves. So I like to have the high flying moves, the bigger guys like the JDXs. Nick Nelson's one of our main guys. He doesn't get a lot of bookings outside of AWF just because I think he takes all our AWF bookings, but I feel like he was doing other shows. He'd be amazing. He's got kind of a Hunter Hearst Helmsley gimmick, like the early Triple H gimmick, and he is one of the best heels I've ever seen. He's a big guy. He's got a good look, and he can't do a 450 or any like huge springboard moves, but he's a great character, and he's able to get the crowd angry at him. Super great guy to have in the locker room as well. One of the best heels. And then I just try to book people. I really like to book Chicago cars, to bring a full car in of Chicago guys, because I feel like there's a lot. They're the top talent bed in the Midwest. So some guys I like to book are like Roy Flash Gordon's insanely athletic. Bryce Benjamin's an insanely talented and smart veteran who actually used to run with Mustafa Ali a lot too. And he's just a great part to have of any show because he can teach the young guys, and I've worked him. And he's definitely a great teacher in the ring too, and talented guy. Storm Grayson, again, who I'm facing tomorrow. And Jake Andrews, another very underrated Chicago guy, very humble. GPA, who's currently the freelance wrestling champion. He's insane. I'm getting Craig Mitchell up here, who's a powerhouse. Super excited to have him up. And so, long answer short, I try to book my main stable guys here around the Minnesota or North Dakota area that happen every show, so we can build the storylines around them, but also bring in the best talent I can from Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, sometimes Canada. I have Tyler Colton coming for a couple shows. He just came back a couple months ago from China, doing like a multiple month tour of China, where they're really trying to bring pro wrestling there too. And he's a monster. He's huge. He was actually the guy I wrestled my first match in Winnipeg too. So kind of cool as it came full circle.
Yeah. I've noticed that women's wrestling isn't that present in AWF. Do you see that changing by like the end of this year potentially?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny you bring that up because we actually have a women's match, a part of our Chicago card tomorrow. So we have Lainey Luck and Elena Black coming up too. So Lena's been great to be able to come up with Storm, and she's managed a couple times. She's actually wrestled ODB this year too at AWF. So yeah, definitely. And I'm really trying to build around Elena. She works really hard. She's got a good look, and she's very talented, and really just wants to grow and be able to travel. And I'm glad that she's able to come up and bring some other Chicago girls as well. And I'd like to bring some of the Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin girls. It's really starting to build up. So I definitely want to be a part of that. And I know it's not something AWF did in the past, so it's kind of building from ground zero. But having the responsibility of booking, I definitely think women's wrestling needs to be in AWF. And I think there's a lot of great, female wrestlers coming up, and it's a great part of the show. Again, there's different flavors for different folks, and women's wrestling, I personally really like it. I love watching the Mae Young Classic, and I take a lot of the moves, or a lot of my inspiration for moves, from the women's wrestlers now, just because it's such a different game than when I started watching wrestling, and they're incredibly talented.
That does show you that like how great women's wrestling is right now because everyone does super kicks. Everyone does something that the legend did 20 years ago. Everyone does that stuff now. So for the women to be coming up with new things to do, like Bianca Belair, when she takes her hair and she whips the hell out of somebody
That's
with that,
awesome.
I'm just thinking, oh my god, I
She
never seen
reminds me
somebody
from
do
Mortal
that.
Kombat.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Do you think that like character will always get over more than your wrestling ability will before like you even do anything? Like take Bray Wyatt for example. The Fiend is the most over thing, in my opinion. It's the most over thing and the best thing in wrestling right now, and nothing can top it.
Yeah, that the whole buildup was so great because it was something so left field, where a lot of people were saying, "Man, that looks stupid," or something. It's this is just a waste of time. Why are people doing this? I don't feel like a lot of people said that, but I feel like a vocal minority said that, and I definitely didn't think that at all. I thought when I would watch like if I couldn't watch Raw and I could only watch the highlights, that would be something I would fast forward to or download on YouTube because I didn't know what was going to happen. And a lot of with wrestling, it's all been done before, so it's exciting when they branch out, they let talent have their own ideas, and really just go off the wall. I think that's what makes it a lot of fun. That kind of reminds me of when Matt Hardy did Broken Matt Hardy. And that didn't work out so well in WWE, but when he's given the full creative reign, it worked out really well. And I like how they're handling the Fiend. I hope they don't, overuse him and make his appearances special. Like I know I was actually there at the show when he attacked King. I think it's cool he's attacking legends and not just just throw him in the main event right away. I'm glad that they're kind of letting it wait. Maybe he'll come out and attack Seth Rollins or Bray Wyatt, at Clash of Champions. But yeah, to answer that question, it's tough because I think you need both. I don't have the athleticism. I'll fully admit that most of the guys do. I'm a smaller dude, but that's really helped me get over. Be able to have a character, not just be some random white guy who's 5'10", because there's enough of that, and especially independent wrestling. But yeah, wrestling as a whole. So I think you need both. I think there's characters that if you look at Shawn Michaels, he had all the talent in the world, but people remember the super kick, which is not a super hard move, or now it's done all the time. But people remember the Heartbreak Kid, his time in DX, his mic skills, But he was an amazingly fluid wrestler, not just on the athleticism side, but mental side, being able to put together amazing matches. So I think it's a bit of both. But if I had to pick one, I would definitely rather say character. I think character is going to, especially a lot of independent wrestling, I think character for sure. Just because if you're wrestling at a high school or a random bar show where it's, hey, wrestling's not my thing, but, I'm coming to either support someone at the high school, or, hey, I'm coming to this bar show with a friend, just to have some drinks and just to hang out. They're going to remember, oh, I remember that guy did this dancing move, or I remember that guy was a dragon or something. They might remember a couple moves, but they won't remember as much, I feel, as a character doing something funny or a memorable moment, where you might lean on character more.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like the last 5 years, the most guys that like gotten over and gone viral are guys for the character because if you're a great wrestler, 9 times out of 10, the reason you aren't in the big spot, you aren't in the big places is because either one, they just you just are missing something about yourself. Two, there's probably something like outside of wrestling that you have problems with. There's like a PR problem. Or three, you've been held down by your booker because you might have been a better wrestler, but the booker didn't like you. And for like a part of your career, you're known as that guy that kept jobbing. I mean,
Right. And I think what's great about indie wrestling, it gives you a chance, a lot of shows, to be able to express yourself and learn and grow. And I feel like that's what I try to do with booking AWF. I work with other people for storylines, especially our main guys working with what matches they want to have, where they want to see their character go. And I just want to make sure that they have an environment that that they can feel, hey, I want to try this character thing out, or I want to try this sequence out, or it might be cool if, this happened in a match that I didn't try out. And there's certain shows where you might not want to try out stuff because it's a bigger show and you want to just, stick with your main recipe. But I think if you don't mix it up and you don't grow, your main recipe stuff will eventually go stale. I mean, again, you're seeing different audiences, but it'll go stale, maybe not with the audience, but with you, and you won't have the passion. And eventually that'll come over to the crowd, seeing that you're not, as in the moment, you're just kind of going through the motions.
yeah. Has any other like feds besides the WWE reached out to you, like an Impact and ROH, any of those kind of companies?
Not now. I've worked extra work with ROH as well a couple of years back. I'm always open. Right now, I'm still, like, to be completely honest, like just trying to get back into wrestling. I know I came back in February. Still feel like I'm trying to put on more weight at this point, as well as just kind of hone things and tighten things up with my new style after my injury. So I'm kind of just working around the AWF thing, working at other shows that come up. Definitely, if I get opportunities to travel to other areas, I want to just be able to wrestle new guys and be able to, just learn and get more exposure. But also, I have a great opportunity where I get to book for AWF and bring in guys who I want to work and can learn from. So I think that's been really, huge for me coming back from my injury. But answer your question, I haven't been getting. There's so many other guys in the area who are just so much farther ahead of me, like talent wise, which I think they deserve the opportunity. I just still feel like I've got a lot of work to do to hone my stuff together.
During your injury, I'm assuming you're still booking for AWF, but did you ever like thinking about, man, let's just try to go in here, find something new, see how that works out, and if it doesn't, we'll just fall back on our old stuff.
Yeah, during my injury, I definitely still did all what I do now. Uh, but yeah, I definitely thought of different ways to do things. I remember watching the Queen movie, uh, Bohemian Rhapsody, and really thinking how cool the Freddie gimmick or Freddie Mercury character would be. So I came back with a mustache and like the whole jacket and stuff. And I've kind of leaned back from that because I'd rather just be, because I thought it'd be a cool twist on my character, just to be more of like the rock star, more flamboyant, like Freddie Mercury or the lead singer of the Struts, things like that, like an 80s rock star. But uh, I did it for a little bit, and I still kind of carry a little bit of it with me. But I think I'd rather just be more like myself because it's more genuine, and that was not me being genuine by trying that other gimmick. But I was glad I was able to try it out, and it was something different. And I'm still trying out new things. But I really, ideally, would like my gimmick to be me just turned up to 110%, rather than saying, "Hey, what if I was a ninja? Me plus a ninja, or me plus like stealing Disco Infernos and stuff." His stuff or other things like that, or other dance gimmicks. I'd rather just be me and that as like the base, and maybe sprinkle some other stuff in there. But again, with the whole staying natural, staying in the moment, being able to, truly let the crowd see who you are turned up. I think uh, that's what I'm looking forward to now, and look what I'm looking to do.
Yeah, I feel that. Where do you see yourself in like 3 years? Where do you hope to see yourself in 3 to 5 years? Where do you hope you see yourself in professional wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely still doing it. The injuries have been rough, but I'm still just as passionate about it. I love it more than anything in the world. it's been truly like a blessing just to not. I have a great regular job, love it to death, but this is my true passion in life. This is what I want to pursue. So right now, I'm just very, very thankful I'm healthy. It's something you take for granted, but man, when you're not, it is the worst. So I'm just trying to, continue to build up, get a better body, continue to learn, work brand new guys, and just grow from that and be able to just make connections through this great position I have with booking talent at AWF. But to really say 3 to 5 years, it's tough. I mean, I would love to work for WWE. I don't know if I can ever be a WWE superstar or, in the same realm as that, even like a 205 Live guy. I would love to. That'd be the dream. But realistically, I would love to, work backstage, be an agent. Again, I know it's a really tough position to get. Be a writer, even be a referee. I think it's a great honor, and I think it's a really hard job to do. But being a referee for like a WWE or a top company would be great. You're really helping being a part of the match, and you've got a lot of responsibility. I just want to continue to. Pro wrestling's given me so much, so I'd love to give back. I'd love to help out other guys, and just be a part of it. If it can be my main source of income, and that's all I do, that would be the dream.
Yeah. How old are you? Like, on this one, how old are you?
28.
Like 28. Kurt Angle wrestled in WWE for about maybe 5 to 6 years, and he became a Hall of Famer and a wrestling legend. So it's never too late, and you're never too old.
Right, absolutely. That's keeping the dream alive. Wish I would have started a little earlier. I started when I was like 23, 24, and trained for, over almost a year. So, I mean, I wish I would have started earlier, but I went to college, came out of college, and finally was able to scrounge up some money and started wrestling school. So I wish I would have started earlier, but I feel like when I started, I was more mature. So I know some of the younger guys start and they're still, 18, or even there's some that are 16. And I imagine of myself being a 16 or 18-year-old, and I think I might have some heat if I started at that point. I mean, obviously I would have grew out of it where I'm at now, but I was glad I was at a maturity level, lived on my own, and I took it probably more seriously than I might have taken it if I would have started earlier.
Yeah, you got started like when you know you want to do it, because if you want to, like, you think you want to do it, and then you do it and it's too hard and you give up, that can ruin it for you. That can be like you're done.
Oh, for sure.
All right. Before I want you to get out of here, I want you to like sell yourself, sell your match. Let's cut a promo out of the blue. If you want to do that, sell your match tomorrow. Sell it to the people listening. Let's sell your match for tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, 1, 2, 3. What's up, Petey Party? I am your Prince of Party, downtown Petey Brown, and I'm sure you're sitting on your computer, sitting on your cell phones. It's Friday afternoon. You're bored at work. You're wondering, what am I going to do Saturday night? Should I just go into the bar? Should I go see a concert? Nah, you got to see a Petey Party in person. You need to join the Petey Party. And this Saturday, along with AWF, I'm going to be at AWF Bach Brawl in Bach, Minnesota at the Howling Dog Bar. And I am facing that kid with green hair, Storm Grayson from Chicago. He is a hard-hitting son of a gun, and he has been in bigger matches than I have ever been. But, Storm Grayson, you're going to not only face me, you're also facing the Petey Party, and we are ready to party and dance all over you and your dumb green hair. So this Saturday, 7 p.m., Petey Party, want to dance? There you go.
That's great. Barely no stutters. That was perfect. No slip ups, and right off the top of your head.
Thank you, man. Yep, I tried it. I've kind of gotten out of it. I used to do promos for every single match. I had like a curtain. Almost looked like I was doing like terrorist videos because I had a random curtain pinned up in my room. So I need to find a better area to do it. I've done a couple off my balcony, but usually you can hear wind. So I'm trying to get back in even if it helps the promotion. I think when workers do promo videos, because it gets gets the show over, gets the company over as they have more content to share. But I think it's also great for the worker just to get practice, to promote your brand, and just so you get, again, more content. So thank you for having me do this. I should have done it already for the show. Yeah, definitely need to get back in the swing of things of doing promos because I used to do that for every show and every match.
All right. If it's ever a Saturday night, you're not doing any shows, which you can always come on to the Get the Tables podcast show hosted by Tony and Dave. They're live every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Tonight is the Impact Watch Party, and tomorrow is the Rumor in the Window show. You can catch that live on Twitch. Get the Tables, GETDATABLES. Get the Tables on Twitch live tonight at 10 p.m.